morning. We are team number one, and the members of our team are Andres Barros Gonzalez, Pablo Valles Prunera, and myself, Carlos Treño Tricio. And we will do an interview about Mexico actual situation of the government. What do you think of the actual president Andres Manuel López Obrador?
Well, I think that he's a very controversial president because it's like the first time we have like a new government since many years, and also that the way he's managing all the country of giving more opportunities to the ones that have less. I think it's something that another president hasn't done before. So I think that his intentions are good, but we'll see how he develops them.
Do you think he's doing a better job than Enrique Peña Nieto? Why?
In his start of his charge, I think that no, I consider that no, because he's been like changing a lot of things that Enrique Peña Nieto established. So I think that instead of changing those things, it's better to evolve and make better those things rather than to completely change them.
Do you agree with the president's idea of giving priority to the poor people?
I do agree because most of the Mexican population suffers any kind of poverty, but I also would like to include the rich people because it's not good to always focus on one part of the population, but like to gather all for in order for us to develop all together.
In which area or aspect do you think Mexico has failed in the most?
I think that in education, because ignorance is a very huge aspect in our country, and that's why we are being manipulated or like we're being lied by the government because of the education aspect.
Do you consider that selling the presidential airplane was a good idea?
No, because it was already like like I said before, it's not like change what other presidents have done. It's like better to improve, and we if we had already that airplane, it's better to stay than like to change it and start all over again.
How is insecurity nowadays in the country?
Mm, I think that is maybe getting a little bit better, but it is like it has been like many insecurity not only in our city but in the whole country, because there are still many manifestations or crimes that there are always going to be pre- to be happening, but I think that it has not done any difference with him.
Do you think that AMLO will reach his goal of ending corruption? Why?
Mm, if he continues with his ideas, I think that it can improve, but maybe not ended like completely, because I think that's not possible in a country like Mexico because of the government situation. But I think it can improve in some way, but only if he continues with his ideas.
Do you think that Mexico is reaching development? Why?
I think that no, I think that we haven't reached that kind of development we wanted to because of our it's all the government not fault, but his responsibility for us to change, and as well as the education, like I mentioned before, that if we have education we can develop in the future.
If you were an enterpriser, will you invest in Mexico? Why?
I think in these days with this actual president, I wouldn't because his ideas are very different from the like his his vision is not to invest in Mexico now, but to maybe change it in a way. So I rather wait to see how it's going to handle the country and see if in the future it is good.
Do you consider that the populism of the president could increase the Mexican democracy?
Yes, because I think that there's a limit where the population and the president should establish a relationship and to establish a connection, but like passing the limits, I think it puts in risk the democracy because we are not like it is not our decision, but his it's his government, so he decides.
Is the society comfortable with the actual government? Are you?
No, I rather prefer the past government, but let's see how he handles this one.
Do you think there's a real democracy in Mexico? Why?
I think this president has real ideas of democracy, but I don't think that it exists real democracy here in Mexico because of the ignorance of the people.
Thank you.
What do you think of the actual president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador?
I think he's very different than other presidents Mexico has had, and it could be great president, but he also have some bad ideas. He needs to be like more prepared, and without preparation, you cannot rule a country. So I think he could change if he the way the country is, if he is more prepared. But I think he's not any prepared. He has not idea of what Mexico needs in a vision of economy or inversionist, and it will be good to have a president like him, but being more prepared.
Do you think he's doing a better job than Enrique Peña Nieto, and why?
I think they both are doing like different type of good or also of bad, because Enrique Peña Nieto do some reforms that they were good for the country, and but he also have a lot of corruption in his government, and AMLO is a little bit different because he changed the way of corruption, but the government is also corrupted. So I think both are the same as bad.
Do you agree with the president's idea of giving priority to the poor people?
Well, it would be a great idea if it was in a correct form. But Mexico has a lot of corruption, and the money doesn't well given, and without the it's more difficult to be a good country, because we will make the poor people be lazy and don't teach them how to work and to get money, and that's the base of any good country.
In which area or aspect do you think Mexico has failed in the most?
In the government, because the government has a lot of corruption. It hasn't been a good president since many times, and when they could be a good action, it is stopped by the corruption, and we need to change that thing because it's different. And also in the economy, because they hasn't know how to invest in this country to be a good inversion.
Do you consider that selling the presidential airplane was a good idea?
I think it would be a good idea if we doesn't buy it at first, but now that we have it, it's better to use it because it's a very good plane, and you already have it there. They haven't find someone to come buy that plane, and that's a loss of money there. It should be better that they doesn't buy it at first.
How is insecurity nowadays in the country?
I think it's getting worse every time. Like some governments have, they was like more like the same, and we know do some things, but now they are doing more things, and it's getting worse every time. You see nowadays that many people disappear, but in a bad way, and many people have not been great and feel safe like in other time.
Do you think that AMLO will reach his goal of ending corruption, and why?
I don't think so. Mexico is a very complicated country, and he's not the best man to it because he has a lot of corruption in his way to be a president, and he also have in his team of work many corrupt people, and that's very difficult if you have corruption in your own seats to end in all the country.
Do you think that Mexico is reaching development?
Well, I don't think so because we are going backwards. We are not looking for good technology because without the technology, we cannot have a better advantage. And we are going to do some inversions that I think that they are not good to the country, and development is to give work, not to give money to the poor people so they can live. So I think we better have an education plan for development, but Mexico in this time is going backwards, not going to development.
If you were an entrepreneur, would you invest in Mexico?
I would like so, but I don't think it's a safe inversion because with this president, you never know what's going to happen, what he's going to say, or what he's going to make. And Mexico nowadays it could change a lot because many entrepreneurs are going to other countries because they don't find any safe. So I think I will not invest in Mexico.
Do you consider that the populism of the president puts in risk the Mexican democracy?
Yes, because if you like to give all the poor people the things that they want without giving them work or something like that, it puts the democracy because all poor people that are the most in this country are going to support the candidate that gives that population the popularism, and it will be very difficult to find democracy, but it will be a wrong to continue with this thing.
Is the society comfortable with the actual government, and are you?
Well, I don't think the society is good because there have been many manifestations and many things against Lopez Obrador, and also me, I don't feel any safe. I think that we are not secure in this country. We have not more security. We don't have a good economy, so we can invert. So I think that no one is like really in a comfort in this government, and this need to change.
And finally, do you think there's real democracy in Mexico?
In Mexico, there has not be any real democracy. It's only like a process to make a new president. The president almost the rich people want. So the real democracy is the first step to find the end of corruption and being one of the best countries. Thanks. Now we are going to interview Carlos Treviño about his opinion about this country. First question. What do you think of the actual president Andrés Manuel López Obrador?
I think this president is a farsant. He doesn't know about anything about politics. He's not capacitated to rule a country like Mexico that has a lot of opportunities to improve and to have a better chances of life. But I think that if he changed his ideas and mind, he could do a good job and Mexico could progress.
Do you think he's doing a better job than Enrique Peña Nieto, and why?
I think that no. I think that Enrique Peña Nieto was a very good president, even though he made some wrong things, but he do a lot for Mexico. he tried to make Mexico better, to have better opportunities to work, to have more salaries, more everything, and also he gave us the Mexicans a smile that we wanted.
Do you agree with the president's idea of giving priority to the poor people?
It's a good idea of the president to give priority to the poor people, but I think that if you want to be president, it should be fair for all. You should treat all Mexico like one because we're a country and we're very united. So I think he's wrong about giving all his op- his force to the poor people. It should be balanced, like people from good society and from people from bad society.
In which area or aspect do you think Mexico has failed the most?
I think the area of corruption. Corruption is in every part of the country. Even though you think that they are very good and everything, but I think it should be more trustful. That Mexico should have more people like more people. That Mexico should have more people doing good than bad.
Do you consider that selling the presidential airplane was a good idea?
The presidential airplane has not been sold yet by orders of the president and Andrés Manuel López Obrador. And I think it's not a good idea that they sell it because it's part of Mexico, it's part of the president, it's part of all the cabinet, and also it costs a lot of money to maintain the plane in order, and that money could work for other things.
How is insecurity nowadays in the country?
Insecurity nowadays in the country is the same as 20 years ago. It's always bad, but not that bad because there's some people that has education and everything. Because the insecurity is based on education. If you have education, you will not do bad things to other people.
Do you think that AMLO will reach his goal of ending corruption, and why?
I think that no. I think that that's almost impossible to do to end corruption. I don't think any president could do that because it's Mexico. It's the country Mexico. If you were talking about Germany or other countries in Europe, it's different society, it's different people. They are more they are more they are different than the Mexicans, and there's no more corruption in those cities.
Do you think that Mexico is reaching development, and why?
Mexico could reach development because we have a lot of opportunities. We have a lot of materials like petroleum, the milk factories, the cars, we have a lot of things that Mexico could use to be a developed country, but with the people, it's almost impossible.
If you were an entrepreneur, would you invest in Mexico? Why yes or why not?
I will not invest in Mexico because of the president, of his ideas, of how he managed the country, because he has some ideas of taking away some parts that they don't belong to him, and you never know if your money will be safe here in Mexico or no.
Do you consider that the populism of the president puts in risks the Mexican democracy?
I think that it affects the democracy because uh, the president is looking populism, but only in a certain part of the country. like the poor people. He's always looking for them. He's always looking for his for his type of people because he was from there. But I think it should be beneficial to everybody because that's how democracy works.
Is the society comfortable with the actual government? Are you?
I think the society is halfway. Like some societies is very good with this actual government, but other society is completely has a completely unacceptable idea of that of this society. In my way, I have a completely on a an unacceptable idea of this society because it's also about the that we have a government that from many years ago and this year it's a new type of government.
Do you think there's real democracy in Mexico and why?
I think it is a real democracy if people of Mexico compare each other. Also, but I think the most important part is that the cabinet and the president and all his people in law in charge start from for taking themselves charge and ending corruption indoors and then try to end corruption outdoors to make a democracy.
Thank. This is all for our interview about what we think of Mexico. Thank you.